We're one happy Patriot cheating team. I got my new wife, my new son.
Yeah. Go Patriots! Patriots Nation! Have the Patriots mascot. I need a hug too.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast with myself and, of course, my man Miguel, Coach Sander, who's down there
Baltimore, having big fun.
having a great old time down there in Baltimore. Having big fun. It is what it is. But this is the Check Swing Podcast. It's Wednesday. It's a little after 8 o'clock. Got a whole lot to talk about today. And we're going to have some fun talking about it, of course. Thanks for joining us. And before we get into it, of course, y'all know what I like to do. I like to ask my folks how they've been. So, Miguel.
Soy.
How you been, man?
I have been well, sir. Having a good weekend this past weekend. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because I wanted to see. There it is. So the Vision Select Baseball team got the number 1 seed in the Harford County Baseball League. We played our last regular season game on Saturday, and one of our players did this, and the video's in the queue.
But darling, you just resurrected me. Reach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby. I'm so green, you gotta teach me, baby. Something cool with you. BC, baby. Pull up, play back, beat, beat, baby. I might get the heat seats, baby. Swear my label gotta free me, baby. Just like some green tea, baby. Hey, buried alive, someone come dig me up. If I call up your shorty right now, she picking up. You boys got big on my name.
Now, that's awesome. Hit a shot.
Of course, I wanted to put the video in that it also had the other angle from the right field stand. You can actually see where the thing lands. So we actually were like, so by the way, that was a walk-off grand slam.
Was it really?
Yeah. So we were walking off. What's up, Marlon? Walking off meaning we already. It was 15-run rule, so that walked off and ended the game. So we actually.
It was 15 what?
It was like 15. It was at the 15-run rule. So you 15 runs you win, and we were the home team.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually wound up. Me and the coaches were kind of in shock. We were like, "Where did it land?" So where the fence was in right field, from what I was told, was 320 feet. It hit the branches or the bark that was the one big branch that was hanging up from a tree. From the naked eye, it was probably another maybe 40 feet. And it hit that tree. So
blast off.
Yes, that was on Saturday, and then last night we played in our first playoff game, top 18, or so say 18s in the league. So we were the number 1 seed, and we won 13-3 last night. So we play Saturday against a team to be determined, and winner of that game goes on to play in the championship next Tuesday at the Ripken Complex in Aberdeen.
Now, will you guys, after this season is over, that you're currently in the playoffs for, will you guys continue to play into the summer?
Yes, we have a tournament in West Virginia coming up in July, and a couple of local tournaments in July and August. Actually, we have a Father's Day tournament up in Fredericks Fredericksburg, I think. I'm still getting used to all the Bergs and Villes in Maryland.
I know there's a Frederick, Maryland, right? I think there's a Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah, whatever the case may be, we're playing up there Father's Day weekend in our first official tournament. We were supposed to play last weekend, but it got rained out for Memorial Day. And then we're in West Virginia, I believe, second week in July. And I think there's one or two more tournaments after that.
Awesome. So you got
one,
craft that
Yep.
team awesome.
Yep. And one more thing I want to show you, if you can do the screen share for me, for a favor. These are the all-stars that were selected for the Hartford County League. So going from left to right is our dog. Our left-handed pitcher, Bryson, the real deal. The guy with the first set of shades, number 5, it's Praise the Lord, Clifford Johnson V. In the middle is he's kind of like the heart of the soul of the team. He's Grayson Myers, aka Jackie. Number 99, the guy that you saw that hit the home run, that's Loyal Vic. He's our catcher. And then Mason Clash the Mash, number 23. He's our center fielder. He's all over the field. Can't nothing get past this guy. He's just got to stop over swinging. But other than that, he's fine.
All right, I'm going to take your video down. We can still hear. I just wanted Mason Clash to. I wanted his number to be able to be seen, and his name to be seen. So your picture was covering that up. So I just wanted to make sure Mason got some time as well. Where are you? Were you not selected to be the coach of the All-Star team?
Well, so I'm still new to everything, so I don't know how that works. I don't know. I don't know if because we're still in the playoffs, so I don't know how that works.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, you got to keep us posted on that because you have right now have like a 1-loss team. Am I correct?
Correct. 10. Was it 12, 13, 1-1 or something like that?
Woo. Get it, coach. Get it. Well, congratulations to those young men. Keep up the good work, fellas. Keep playing the game, man. It's a great game to play, and it'll take you far if you allow it to. It'll take you far. Absolutely. Well, let's get into it, Miguel.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we have to since you put it in a note today. So
Okay. All right. So let me present it. Okay. I just like to announce to everybody that's watching. It's a sad situation, but yes, it is official. Russell Wilson has officially announced his retirement. I know it's upsetting to everybody out there. We won't get the jokes about him being small or anything like that, but yes.
this is what our audience feels about Russell Wilson retiring. However, he gets to enjoy the rest of his life with his spouse, with his wife. R&B singer Sierra. Which I don't know if I don't want to misspeak. I don't. When the last time Sierra put out some music? I don't know. I may have been a while. I don't know. Maybe she's doing other things. I don't know. I was just curious. I don't know. Somebody could let us know if you want to let us know. But Sierra is very talented. One of the other big things, big moves in the NFL, big, I guess, transactions. Myles Garrett is going to the LA Rams. You see what I did there? I did what you did.
Dun, dun, dun.
I see what you did. Myles Garrett going to the Rams for okay. We have a friend that's a Rams fan, right?
Yeah.
And in the group chat, I didn't really. We're going to get to the AJ Brown thing, y'all. We will. Just give us a second. Champion Maker said this is going to be fun. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it today, Champion Maker. But as we delay, prolong, or talk about AJ Brown? I just really want to get real quick. Browns gave up like a first round pick as well as their defensive rookie of the year who just finished his second year. Jared Verse. Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw that, I think there was some more too, but that's just what stands out in my mind. But when you saw that, I mean, what was your first initial reaction to that? Like, did Howie broker that deal? Like, I don't know.
Well, so the couple different ways to look at it. So allegedly there was a deal for Myles Garrett on the table from Howie, but he refused to give up Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, when you look at the numbers, I mean, Myles Garrett is like a once in a century type of player. Broke the record for most sacks last year. So, I mean, he's a force. But when you look at it from an age standpoint, he's 30 and Jalen Carter is 24, and 6 years in the NFL is an entire career. You know what I mean? You already have a stud in Jordan Davis, and then you have this potential, still growing, still maturing, still getting better stud in Jalen Carter. So you can still have two formidable defensive linemen for quite a few years. I mean, you would have had the same thing in Garrett, but, you know, who's to say he'll last as long as Aaron Donald or anything like that. So I'd have to lean towards keeping Jalen as well, especially now that we got the first round pick from New England in that other deal. So I'm not terribly upset about that.
So I feel like there might have been like some like 3-team trade situation going. I don't know. You don't really hear that in the NFL, but more so in the NBA and MLB. Mostly in the NBA. A 3-team trade. I think Howie wanted that first round pick to maybe send to Cleveland to get Myles Garrett. I don't know. We don't know. We can only really speculate. But you brought it up, so we're gonna go to it. The Miguel. I was gonna say the Miguel trade.
I've been traded.
The AJ Brown trade, the worst kept secret of the spring. Even though you held on hope, Miguel. You really did.
Dude, I did, but
and
now that
hoping that you were right. There was a big piece of me hoping that you were right.
right.
And I just didn't.
Well, but the thing was, he was playing with the media. But it was for all the wrong reasons.
It was for the reasons that to get him out of town.
Right.
He was more so I would say he was using the media more so than playing with the media. I think he was using them. And I really think that this whole thing was concocted by AJ Brown. What's my man's name in New England? The coach Mike Vrabel. And maybe Diana Rossini has something to do with it too. I don't know. The three that opened our show today, I feel like they kind of concocted this whole thing. I feel like we already know that. Let me get this thing out the doggone. Get that thing out of my shop. We already know that Vrabel was talking to AJ Brown on a regular basis. Even though Vrabel was in Tennessee and New England and AJ Brown was in Philadelphia. I would think that those discussions ramped up when Vrabel became the coach of New England. And I think, and listen, I'm not mad. I'm glad the whole saga is over now and Philadelphia should move on. But I can't help but think that there was some tampering going on too. Like, look, AJ, let me tell you how to get out of this. Let me show you how to work your way out of there, and we'll make it happen that you come to New England. Had to be some tampering going on. It's just too coincidental. Too coincidental. But with that being said, AJ Brown is officially a Patriot. And the Eagles, and it's time for the Eagles to move on and fans to move on. Miguel, your thoughts on that whole thing?
Well, now we know the real reason why Howie got all those damn wide receivers. He got what, like 12 for this season?
Like 92. Like, good Lord, signing wide receivers left and right. Like, which one of y'all going to replace AJ?
Right. The first thing that came to mind in all this whole thing, I'm like, what is wrong? There has not been a sane wide receiver, so it seems, since Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was the last wide receiver to get on the field, catch touchdowns, win championships.
I was going to say one, but I feel like you're going to say no. He had this incident, so he doesn't count.
Randy Moss, is that your?
I wasn't going to say Randy, but he seemed almost close. He wasn't as
He was close.
He wasn't T.O. or AJ, but he wasn't Jerry either.
I mean, he did have that mooning incident in
Yeah, and it wasn't really a mooning incident.
It really wasn't, but
but I'm talking about Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was pretty clean cut and quiet throughout his career. He did have an incident after he was retired and all like that, but that doesn't count. But they don't make
Wait, Marvin Harrison incident, wasn't there an alleged attempted murder or something to that effect? Is that what you're talking about?
Something along those lines, yeah.
That's bigger than an incident, bro, but okay.
I gotta be very careful how I approach that one because I have some very close people to me that are close people with Marvin Harrison. So I just gotta I gotta tread lightly on that.
Ixnay under Marvin's name.
Gotta tread lightly on that. But there was, I mean, there's no secret. It's public that happened. But it's not really talked about much at all. I think he was I don't know if it's thrown out or I don't know where the status of that is, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's an issue anymore. But anyway, but you're right. I didn't want to cut you off, but you're right. Jerry Rice seems like it was the last person to just go out there, catch the ball, and make things happen. But I'm also wondering if Jerry Rice was always kept happy as well.
Well, here's the other thing too. So first off, I need to make an announcement. Christopher Sanchez has broken the record for the scoreless inning streak, extended to 6 more innings. So that's 50 and a third innings.
So he beat Oral Hershiser's record?
No. He has the most. He is the longest scoreless inning streak for a left-handed pitcher in the history of baseball.
Okay. Gotcha.
But he was 8 innings short as he has finally given up a run in the 7th.
8 innings short of Hershiser?
Yes.
Why is he in the 7th? Oh, because he was shutting them out.
Right.
Makes sense.
He pitched 7 full innings. He gave up 1 run.
Shout out Christopher Sanchez, man. Get that man a Cy Young right now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. I'm coming back for it. Sorry. Don't wait till the Cy Young voting. Don't wait to let anybody catch up. Just give it to him now.
You know what's funny about all of this, bro, on the real? It's like this is the genius of Howie Roseman, right? So 2018-2017 season, right? We had Carson Wentz, we had Alshon Jeffrey, we had that group, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
And he, Howie did some things to appease Carson Wentz, arguably, including firing the head coach, because who the hell does that? That wasn't enough for him. He gets a replacement for Peterson, and then he has to find himself a quarterback, which he had already drafted in Jalen Hurts. So then this whole situation, which apparently is over. This is the other issue I have. So number one is wide receivers. They're just, I don't get the prima donnaism. Like, you would literally rather be, a 15 catch, or 38 targets for a bad.
Can I step in real quick? I thought of I mentioned a wide receiver last week that wasn't an issue, and Champion Maker is also. I put the comment up earlier. Michael Irving was not a. It was an off the field issue, but he was not an on the field issue. He wasn't a trade me. He wasn't a get me out of here. He was where they were winning Super Bowls. They were going to and winning Super Bowls, and he was satisfied.
Well, he was satisfied because of the amounts of cocaine and whores.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Hello.
I wouldn't know.
Right. Anyway, thank you for appeasing our Cowboys fan. By the way, you
I know I didn't really want to, but I can't let the facts get in the way of a good story sometimes.
Well, I mean, cocaine
That's
and
exactly what I just did. But go ahead.
right, and cocaine and whores are also a part of cowboy
That's that
history.
Galoot culture.
Right.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm Galoot. Go ahead.
Where did I leave off?
You said apparently this is all over.
All right, so wide receivers are an issue, and I guess this is something within the last like 5 or 6 years, but massage therapists apparently are the downfall of some of these NFL players.
As Marlon said, rumors AJ and Hassan Reddick were having sex with a massage
Right.
therapist. Chris knew but didn't tell AJ, and AJ took it personal.
Right. And there was something that came out today that dug it a little deeper that I saw. Somebody had posted that this was all before the Super Bowl win. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So AJ got caught cheating by his wife, Kelsey, before the Super Bowl.
Before they were married.
Right. And before they were married. Kelsey confided in Hurts' wife, Bri, right? Bri told Kelsey to leave AJ. And then AJ found out and then went off on Bri.
Mm-hmm.
So now Kelsey hates Bri. This is all housewives crap. So Hurts tries to get in and mediate, but AJ is already butthurt by this whole thing. And mind you, this isn't about he wasn't even married yet at the time. This wasn't even about the main chick. This was about the side chick. So then they win the Super Bowl. AJ can't get over the hurt of this because there's this blind loyalty that he's supposed to be that he feels that Jalen's supposed to be following because he allegedly knew that Hassan was sleeping with the side chick, not his main wife, but the side chick.
Mm-hmm.
So then on top of that, the Eagles start losing the following season, and AJ believes that he's being targeted less in the offense because of said beef. And now there's several NFL players, former Eagles, that are starting to kind of come out and saying that there may be more to the story. So of course, what's the defensive back's name that we had in the Super Bowl win, and then he left and came back?
CJGJ?
CJGJ, yeah. He said that was a trip. And he said more to come, something to that effect. So
AJ's gone now, so people
everybody wants to talk, right?
Yeah, people are starting to come out about it now. Like I guess they didn't want to see anything while he was around, but
you know what was really bothersome about all this? Remember when Hassan Reddick was traded, and we all were like, "What in the hell?" You got the dude Huff that I think is now retired. You got an okay pick for him, but you got rid of arguably one of your best defensive, players in team history. And if this is the reason why they got rid of him to appease AJ Brown, I mean, really? That's what we did?
now they said it was about money because he wanted a new contract.
Right, which I think they could have
and I believe he was going to hold out, if I remember.
Right. Well, he actually held out with the Jets. I think he didn't play till game 6 or 7.
Right.
But so between AJ, between how we, I guess, appeasing, I would love to know that whole swing, like how much of the deal was actually money and how much of it was trying to keep AJ happy. But either way, it didn't work.
That's a good question. That's a good question to ask. But here's what I'll add to it. I think that they probably made the right move in that situation.
And I'm glad you said that, because everything that we said, right? It's not the first time that there have been people that have been disgruntled in Philadelphia and left. But when we look back at it, I want to say, other than Scott Rowland, who's really come back to burn us and bite us? Like, you know what I mean? Because T.O. left for, Dallas. We all know how that went out. Still didn't end in the championship for him.
No, I can't really think of anybody that's really.
I'd say maybe Kurt Schilling, because I think Kurt Schilling and Rowland were traded within a year of each other, so that might have.
The Kurt Schilling thing, I mean, I feel like I know Rowland wanted to be out, right? But I feel like the Kurt Schilling thing was more so of he's better than what this team is going to be anytime soon. Let's trade him and get something for him.
Right.
Like that was the the move, because the Phillies just were not good. They wasn't close to good at that time. So they had to give up that. But I'm thinking about it like, I mean, I guess you could say Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley was traded to the West. We only saw him twice a year. It didn't really hurt us. After they traded Charles Barkley, the Sixers were not a playoff team. Andre Iguodala went to the Nuggets, I believe, first.
Oh yeah, and he won.
He ended up winning championships with Golden State in a different role, but that never really bit the Sixers. So no, you're right. We never. Guys leave and do well, but they never really come back and hurt the Philadelphia team. We'll probably find out in a joint practice. We might find out in the preseason. I don't know the preseason schedule, but we tend to play New England in the preseason. And if they have a joint practice, that might probably means they'll be playing each other in the preseason. So, our defense will play, but we know our offense probably won't. Our offense should play. New offensive coordinator, new pieces. Offense should play, but I don't know if they will. Yeah, if that whole situation is about, it just makes my brain hurt thinking about it. If this whole situation is over a side chick, like it can't be, right? Like it's over. Like so, I guess for AJ, if this all is real, it's really on principle.
Right. And I'm sure he hears everything that's going on, because even in that interview that he did, he claims, I don't know, where our communication break down, but I have nothing but love for Hurts, and that's my boy. We, it just fell apart. So like he's playing dumb. In all this, he doesn't know what's going on, and then he had the audacity to say that it's so hard to win in Philadelphia because they expect you to win all the time. It's like,
first of all, no, we don't. We want you to win all the time. We want you to win all the time. We don't expect you to win all the time, because that's not real expectations. Ooh, champion makers. So it sounds like Jamal Mashburn and Jason Kidd with the match. they had quite the falling out. That was supposed to be a squad too. Supposed Jamal Mashburn, Jason Kidd, and Jimmy Jackson. Jimmy Jack? Is it Jimmy Jackson? Yeah, I think it's Jimmy Jackson. I think I'm saying the right name. Yeah, I forgot about that actually. Forgot about that whole situation. With all that being said, it was Jalen right for staying out of it in a sense. I mean, he says something. There's a piece of me that that the one story about AJ supposedly allegedly going off on Jalen's wife, but there's no talk of a response from Jalen about him going off on his wife. Like there's a hole in that story for me. What did Jalen do when he found out his wife was whatever you want to call it?
Well, I mean, the story is that he became the mediator in all this. But right, Lane, was there an altercation? Did he step to AJ? Stuff like that. But
thing is, people know. That locker room knows. There are people. We're going to find out. We may not find out anytime soon for real, but it feels like we're going to find out sooner than 30 years from now when they be like, well, this is what happened with that team, or 10 years from now, or whatever it is. Because Brandon Graham came out last year or 2 years, whatever it is at this point, and said, no, their relationship is broken, basically. For him to say that and then try to walk it back, everybody knows something was up. And Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick played the same position. So they might have been close. They might have been conversational. Mm-hmm. They were both on the D-line, both edge. Hassan might have mentioned something to Brandon Graham, and Brandon Graham knows about it. You know what I mean? And then saw what transpired. Marlon said it was absolutely the right move to trade AJ, given what the dispute was. We had to move on from AJ. I'm happy. I'm actually happy it's all over. I'm happy it's over too. And I'm happy we don't have to worry about talking about this next week. He also says, yes, absolutely, Hurts was right. That situation seems messy. Yeah, stay out of it, man. You got to stay out of that. You got to stay out of that, man. You're the quarterback. All Jalen Hurts is worried about is winning a football game. He don't care about nothing. You got all that going on. I want to win football games. That's what Philly wants. Philly wants 1 football games. Mm-hmm. It's what we want, man. That's what we want. Hey, if you haven't done so yet, just hit that subscribe button for us or share us out with your friends or whatever. Join the conversation. We're going to have a good time in here. I just want to make a quick mention before we move on to some other things. Actually, no, I'm going to hold off on that because there's a couple of things I'm going to say. But let's talk about the Phillies real quick. You already mentioned Christopher Sanchez broke the record for lefties for the most shutout innings. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but when you say Aiden Miller, the prospect, third base prospect, Aiden Miller is to undergo a back procedure. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, which slows down his timeline, and which means we probably won't see him with the big club at all this year. But one of the, I don't want to say it's funny, but one of the, it's not funny. Like, it's not funny, but there is a word for it that I can't figure out. Nick Castellanos was,
Karma?
Is it karma? It could be karma. Nick Castellanos, former Phillies right fielder, was DFA'd today. And if you don't know what DFA means, it means designated for assignment. And Miguel, the baseball genius, explain exactly what designated for assignment is. Because all I would say is like he ain't with the team no more. But go ahead.
So in layman's terms, he's designated for assignment, meaning that he can go. He has a couple of options. He can choose. The club doesn't want him on the big league plug. He can go to the minor league club and stay with the club that way. But if he chooses not to, because he has that right because of the amount of years he's been in the league, if he chooses not to, then he can just be outright released.
He can just be what?
Really, outright released.
And the Phillies will start to pay him.
And the Phillies will still have to pay.
We're gonna be paying for somebody that ain't even playing baseball. Would the Padres be all on the hook for any part of his salary?
Whatever they committed to him for the season. But again, it's all in whatever the language is in the contract. So,
Gotcha.
But I mean, other than Castellanos making money this year, he's still out of a job.
Real quick, well, not real quick, but let's jump to this real quick. Brian Flores is close to pulling back a curtain the NFL prefers to keep shut. What's that about, Miguel? What are we talking about here?
So for people that don't know, Brian Flores was the black head coach for the Miami Dolphins back in, I want to say, 21 and 22. After leading the team to back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in what seems like decades. He was fired, but stories came out after his firing that was the incident where there was text messages going back and forth between the New York Giants, who Brian Flores was interviewing for, and Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick, I believe, said, all right, you're already going to hire this guy, who was the bald dude that wound up getting fired. But he accidentally posted Brian Daboll, right?
This came to me.
Right. So basically, it was a misdirected text from then Bill Belichick to Flores, which he has evidence of, screenshots of, where it pretty much said that he was not going to be hired for the job, but and that it revealed that the interview was a sham, which is supposed to be a violation of the Rooney Rule. So the Rooney Rule is in the NFL is every team has to, make sure that there's minority candidates interviewed for leadership positions. So the lawsuit has gained legs, and it actually was appealed in the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals last year, and they ruled that the case can go on. So he's filing a lawsuit alleging systematic racism in the NFL when it comes to hiring, promotion, and termination practices. And the NFL wanted to go through arbitration, but the court said nope, he can go forward with the lawsuit. So, but there's other black coaches, and he's still currently coaching. I believe he's defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings currently. So he has the job now. But there's other black coaches in the NFL that are joining the lawsuit. So it's forcing them to open up their books on certain things. So, and another person who, and this is kind of awkward, John Gruden is not attaching himself to the lawsuit, but he's suing the NFL for leaking the emails that included racist, misogynistic, and homophobic emails and texts, claiming that it was a smear campaign and it was malicious and an orchestrated campaign to discredit him.
I guess. I mean, but let me just say this, and I said this on other shows. I think I'm pretty sure I said it on this show. The Rooney Rule itself, I understand why it's put into place. I have no problem with that in practice, in theory. Excuse me. But when it comes to the practice of the Rooney Rule, that's where the BS comes in. Okay. Our beloved Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion, did a BS Rooney Rule interview. I'm gonna say maybe twice. I don't remember if it was twice or not, but I'm gonna say it was twice with Deuce Staley.
Deuce Staley, yeah, I was gonna say.
Everybody and their mama knew Deuce Staley was not going to get the head coaching job. People might have hoped, because we're fans of Deuce Staley here in Philadelphia, but everybody knew that was BS. They were just doing that to satisfy the Rooney Rule. And there's a piece of me that kind of wants to say, if you have no intentions, don't bring somebody in just to satisfy the rule. That's really what's happening in a lot of places. I think they're bringing somebody in to satisfy the rule, but a lot of teams already know who they want to hire in these types of situations, right? So and correct me if I'm wrong, they don't have the Rooney Rule for coordinator positions, just head coach positions. Am I correct in that, or is there something else?
It's any leadership position. So it's across the board: coaches, head coaches, coordinators.
And I've never heard of that being implemented with coordinators. Are coordinators really considered leadership? Head coaches, yeah. I guess maybe general managers or something like that. But I mean, maybe we don't know who all was interviewed for certain coordinator positions. But the implementation of the rule, I mean, it's something that they were trying to clean something up. But in practice, it seems like is a lot of BS to me.
Right, and one of the in the article it explains that this particular case presents different problems in the terms of optics. Because I mean, if you look at the numbers, 54% of the NFL players are black, 9% or more than 9% are multiracial, and about 4% identify as Hispanic or Latino. And then there are their fans. So the NFL has a significant black fan base. So if Flores can prove the case, then the NFL could lose a good deal of that fan base, especially if there's like in black and white, they find a league-wide systematic discrimination confirmation against black coaches and the like. So
let me tell you what's going to happen. I can see it. I'm already foreseeing it.
You're predicting.
I'm predicting, more so guessing intelligently. What was that? Was that a hypothesis? What was that when you in intelligence?
You're hypothesizing.
Flores wins the lawsuit. Okay, he takes it to court and wins the lawsuit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The current United States administration steps in and says, we can make this go away. We can make this decision go away. All you have to do is eliminate something. All you have to do is get behind something, and we will make sure this lawsuit does not hurt you.
Bring back the old kickoffs as Trump wants to do.
It's going to be more so like get rid of your DEI or whatever. It's going to be something on get rid of the Rooney Rule altogether. It's going to be something. It's going to be something. I'm not trying to get political or spolitical on this show, but I can see that happening because it feels like it happens in other places. I'll just put it like that. We were going to talk about this last week, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about it now. Senators unveiled details of Protect College Sports Act. What is that about?
So the Protect College Sports Act would, quote unquote, restore order in college athletics by creating enforceable national rules, preserving fair competition, protecting student athletes, while also ensuring that longstanding rivalries are maintained. So specifically in the bill, they would look to limit athletes to transferring schools only one time without penalty. They would limit athlete eligibility to a maximum of 5 years. they would prohibit former professional athletes from playing in college, and they would prohibit schools from poaching a coach from another school during their sports season. So I know one of the biggest things, especially since the whole NIL thing started, it doesn't seem like players are staying long in their schools. So after once they see that, okay, well, there's no competition, or there is competition here, and I won't get a chance to play, they're quick to enter the transfer portal and things like that. But it seems to be happening more frequently across the board. So they want to add, I guess, a penalty, if you will, to have them only do it without penalty once. So
Yeah, I know. I've said it before. It's difficult for me to watch college sports the way I did 10, 20 years ago. Because 10, 20 years ago, guys were sticking around on the same team and growing in the team and the program and becoming what they were to go play professionally or whatever the case may be. Now it's not that. It's they go one place for 1 year and they transfer out and go somewhere else. Um, they, you know, it's just it's hard to get behind a team or a player when that's happening. It's hard to do. It's hard to do.
the last thing it addresses too is it tries to resolve some of that disparity between wealthier schools and those with smaller budgets by giving the conferences an option to negotiate future TV deals as long as one large group and they share the money more evenly, as long as 75% of SBCS schools agree to join together. So it kind of forces them to,
Champion Maker says the act is extremely racist. He says the minute black kids start making real money for their gifts, talents, and work ethics, they want to change the rules.
they're moving the goalposts again.
That happens quite a bit. And I'm torn with my take on, it's being hard. It's hard to watch certain, college sports right now. I'm torn because I want these kids to make their money. There's so much money being made on these kids' backs right now. It's ridiculous. And the kids were not allowed to make money off of themselves. They couldn't make money signing an autograph, and so
Right.
they couldn't make money being at an event where maybe they're a star
They-
college athlete and they can sign an autograph and they get paid for being at the event. Like
if someone wanted to, if this is what
Miguel
did it for
froze
me.
up
A
on us.
student couldn't even have. Hello, mic check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. The thing that did it for me is, I think somebody got penalized because somebody bought food at the calf for one of the students, and they got hit with that. And it's like, that's how much control you need to have.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I can remember. I'm not going to mention the name. Actually, the man has passed on. But there was a guy that would give us a couple dollars, go to the vending machine, grab something. Yeah, money. I'm not gonna go into explaining who it is, but if I did that, people would know exactly who I'm talking about. People that went to Eastern Shore in my time, and before mine. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, Champion Maker, since you're a Hawk, you might remember this person. I'm just gonna say they wore a lot of rings on their fingers. They wore a lot of rings on their fingers. Had a lot of money, but he would, I want a bag of chips. Yo, here you go, young fella. Go ahead, get yourself a bag of chips. That's a violation. Like that's a violation. But like somebody giving you $1 to get a bag of chips, a Snickers bar, like that. Like is that really? Is that really that bad? Now, if you going out and buying, look, I'm gonna take you to, I don't know what the store might be, but I'm gonna get you all these Jordans and these sweatsuits and all like that, and boom, boom, boom. All you got to do is make sure you playing for this school. That's a violation. That's what they want to avoid. but you got to penalize people from being fed when they're hungry. Think about that.
That part.
Think about that. Hit us up with your thoughts, man. 727-731-8267. That's the number to call if you want to give us your thoughts on air, or you can text us on our 24-hour text line at 484-606-6061. And of course, you can give us your thoughts in the chat if you want to. Champion Maker, Marlon has been doing that. Leslie, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's putting their comments in the chat. You know, we put them on air too. You know, we're all about having fun on this show. We want you guys to have a good time with us. We want you to be a part of this show. But let me move on real quick. One quick note: Claude Lemieux, NHL legend Claude Lemieux passed away. Was it last week? Over the weekend, I believe.
This week.
By an apparent suicide, from what I heard. Man,
Yeah, he was only 60, and I read a brief article from a Canadian columnist. Apparently, he was at the conference championship series with the Montreal Canadiens, and I believe he was there on a Monday. He was there to appear at one of the games, and he got a standing ovation. But apparently, you know, he was really struggling with the fact that he didn't make the Hall of Fame.
Really?
And it seemed to be a burden. He felt like it was kind of an injustice, and although he was really emotional at the Canadiens game when they were playing the Hurricanes, apparently it was too much for him to bear, and a couple days later he was gone.
Wow.
So
I didn't realize they were struggling with not making the Hall of Fame.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know what the criteria for hockey is to get in the Hall of Fame, but I thought, you know, growing up when we grew up, we heard a lot of Claude Lemieux.
he was a flyer killer, and I always remember Claude Lemieux. And one of our text buddies he'll show it in the chat. He's always famous for when the Flyers were like one win away from getting to the Stanley Cup. Claude Lemieux shoots a puck from like 90 yards out, and Hextall missed it with like 30 seconds to play, and they wound up winning the game in the series. But I always remember him being, you know, he wasn't like the
What up, Goof?
he wasn't the greatest player in the regular season, but he was so clutch in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rest in peace to Claude Lemieux, man. 60 years old. That's something.
That's young.
On a lighter note, the NBA Finals start tonight. Actually, I believe they already start. I don't know what time they start, but I know when the show is over, I'll be turning the game on. NBA Finals start tonight. It's a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals, which was a strike-shortened season. If people don't remember, actually, I haven't mentioned that. That was a strike-shortened season, where the San Antonio Spurs defeated the New York Knicks in that series. So it's kind of a rematch of sorts. 30 years later, or 20, 26, 20, 27 years later, almost 30. That math wasn't really that hard if I had to think about it. I think about it real quick. But what I really want to talk about real quick, and I'm gonna make it brief because we're short on time. The NBA has changed up their draft rules to be implemented starting in 2027. Not this draft, next year's draft. Okay, and let me just go through a little bit of some of the changes that they made. All right, they expanded the lottery field. So first the lottery was 14 teams. Okay, is it 14 teams? Yeah, 14 teams, I believe, in the lottery. They're expanding it to 16 teams now. And what they're doing is that they're changing like the chances of teams getting the number one pick. And here's how. The bottom three teams, which would be your 1, 2, and 3 worst records of the year, Your bottom 3 teams will get 2 balls each in the lottery. They actually
Pause. Sir.
Oh. It threw me off now.
I apologize.
It's all right. I threw myself off because I thought I caught it myself. They actually have a lottery where they put the ping pong balls in the machine. They spin it around. They pick a ball out. Okay, so the bottom 3 teams, which are the 3 worst records in the league for the season, will each receive 2 ping pong balls and will have a 5.4 chance at the number 1 pick. Teams with the teams with the teams with in the 4 through 10 worst record will get 3 ping pong balls each with an 8.1% chance of getting the number 1 pick. So here you go. The 9 and 10th play-in seeds, because your play-in teams are in here, they will get 2 balls each, 2 ping pong balls each with a 5.4% chance. So that means your 9 and 10th worst record will have the same chance as the bottom 3 teams of getting the number 1 pick, with your 4 through 10 teams having a better opportunity of getting a number 1 pick. And the losers of the 7-8 play-in game, the 7 seed versus 8 seed play-in game, will each get 1 ball, 1 ping pong ball, and have a 2.7 chance at the number 1 pick. So the structure discourages teams from finishing at the very bottom while rewarding teams that narrowly miss the playoffs, creating a more competitive late season environment. You know what? I can respect the sentiment behind. I can respect the thought process behind it. You want to have competitive games all throughout the year, and maybe, just maybe, Miguel, maybe that would discourage some of the what's it called? The what do they call it now when they don't
Tanking.
play? No, not the tank. It's supposed to
When the players don't play certain games.
yeah, what do they call that now? I forgot what they call that.
Oh, a structured settlement. No, they play that. Shoot.
See, you forgot too.
Because it was created for Embiid.
First of all, no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
It was created before Embiid even stepped foot in the NBA. So stop. It was created by the San Antonio Spurs when they had a good team. When they had Tim Duncan and
Load management.
Load management. Thank you. Load management. So maybe we'll discourage some load management as well. Thank you, Champion Maker. Thank you. Maybe we'll discourage some of the load management because let's just say in the 90s, there was no load management. You just played. So we'll see what this does. They're going to have it. They have a sunset deal in place where in 2029, if it doesn't really work out, they'll cancel it out. So they're giving it a couple years to see, if they want to stick with it. And we'll have to see. I think it might be a good thing, because teams are not going to want to finish in the bottom 3. If they know they're not going to make the playoffs, they don't want to finish in the bottom 3 because it's not going to improve their chances of getting the number 1 pick. So I wonder if it's like, I'm in the number 5 spot. I'm going to tank, but I don't want to tank too much. Nah, you're going to have to play it through. You're going to play it through. So I'm kind of excited for that as a basketball fan. There's going to be competitive games. I used to be a person that would stay up late. Well, I used to get off at like 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, so I had no choice. But I would stay up late and watch the West Coast games. I don't do that anymore. Well, not the whole game. I might watch the first quarter. Then turn on Kimmel, watch his monologue, and then go to bed.
Oh, I never liked Kimmel.
Kimmel's funny to me. So that's what it is. Now, Miguel, you had an idea for draft picks.
Okay. So I'm taking this idea from what the NFL used to do from like 1960. They did this for 10 years, from 1960 to 1969. They would actually have what was called a playoff bowl, or it was like it was called the Burt Bell benefit. Um, so it was basically a postseason game for third place. They would play.
So you're saying like you have your Super Bowl 1 and 2, and then there's another game for a third place. Okay.
For third place. So what I'm thinking is, if rather than add extra games to the season, why not make it interesting? At least in football. I mean, you can do this in the other sports too, but I don't know like at what point in the season. But let's say football. Why not have the top 4 or the top 6 picks duke it out? So number 1 would face the
Have like a losers bracket tournament in a sense.
losers bracket tournament, but you're playing for your draft pick.
Right. So the winner of the tournament will get the number 1 pick. So that would be, I think that would be interesting to a point. And here's why. And maybe that's why the NFL is not doing it anymore, whatever. Your worst team, who might be worse because they're tanking, might be worse because they just stink. Probably ends. You have your 16-1 seed in a sense. So you're like in a tournament style thing. You have your best of the worst and your worst of the worst playing each other, and there's no way the worst of the worst comes out of that. Chamber Maker says the toilet bowl. Call it the toilet bowl.
So real talk. So Vince Lombardi hated playing this game, and the third place game, and they actually nicknamed it the shit bowl.
Wow, that's funny. That's funny. I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, let's put it this way: it would be interesting, and it would be a way that these teams could actually make some more money by having some extra games. I mean, let's put it this way: the NCAA basketball, they have the March Madness tournament. They got about 3-4 other postseason basketball tournaments as well, with teams that didn't get invited to the big March Madness tournament.
Right,
and tournament you have, they got a few.
And football has what the Tostitos anal wipe bowl and the Chick-fil-A Embiid Fun Bowl. You know what I mean? Like they have like what 95 bowl games.
So many bowl games, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how these teams get up for these bowl games that are like December 1st.
Right, and then they put them in random cities. Like we're going to play in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Got the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, which actually makes sense. But yeah, you got there. You know which one I really don't like, and I might be in the minority on this one. I don't like the Pinstripe Bowl. I don't like seeing these teams play on the field at Yankee Stadium. Like for me, maybe it's me. It's probably me. I know that the stadiums used to be interchangeable for a long time. I don't want to see football on Yankee Stadium on the Yankee Stadium field. I don't want to see football on Citizens Bank Park field.
Wasn't there one at Wrigley Field too a few years ago?
There was. I think there was one at Wrigley. I believe you're right. Now the one once in a while you have your outdoor hockey game at a baseball field or whatever for the college football. That's okay. That's your one special type of thing. You said you hate that?
No. I like the NHL outdoor games. I think they do. I think they should be at football stadiums versus baseball stadiums just from geometry. But other than that, it's fine.
I'm with you on that too. I was actually at when they had one in Philadelphia. Let's say they played on a Sunday. I was there on a Saturday with the alumni game or whatever they called it. It was cool being there. But you're right. The aesthetic of having a stadium with seats all around kind of would be, a better look. Having it in a baseball field is kind of weird, but having it in like Michigan or Penn State, or one of them type deals where it's a real huge stadium, the Meadowlands, or not the Meadowlands. What's it called now? Gillette. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm saying. The big stadium venues. It's pretty cool, even though the ice would be this big in the if you're in the nosebleeds, they probably wouldn't even open the nosebleeds for that. Not really sure. Well, I forgot why. I don't even know why I got talking about that, but it doesn't matter. So you have some videos for us that you're going to share. We're winding down. We're getting towards the end of the show, and you also have a Would You Rather. So stick around, y'all, because we want y'all to join us with this Would You Rather with y'all opinions as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. I apologize. But you have some videos. You want to introduce them, or what we doing?
This first one is an example of jumping too high.
Funny thing about that, I mean, I've seen that many times, right? But the funny thing about that is the other dude grabbed his head.
Right.
The other dude grabbed his own head, like, dang, I know that hurt. I'm glad that didn't happen to me. But yeah, that's one of them things that happen in basketball that's like you don't realize what happened until you see it again. Like he jumped, another guy jumped, and the guy that jumped second kind of pushed the other guy up. And that happens sometimes.
Mhm.
And you don't really notice it the first time, but it's just like when you see it the second time, it's like, damn, how unlucky can you get in that situation?
Speaking of unlucky, this happens in our next video.
Play today. Tries to split the gap in left center. Bader won't get there, and it's off the wall. Corbin might be thinking three here, and he's off and running. Corbin Carroll's got the triple. It bounces up the line. Here he comes. He's going to go all the way around.
I couldn't really see it. The video was a little choppy on my end, and the camera was in my way. It hit him in the head at third base?
Square in the head when he slid in.
Ooh.
The helmet came off. And it was funny was that he held his head as he was running. But he still
That's the
ran.
only reason I knew, because I didn't see the cameras in the way. So that's the only reason I knew it hit him in the head. Ooh, yeah, that's unlucky. That's unlucky. Gracious day in the morning. You got anything else for us before we move on to the Would You Rather?
That should be it. Because I don't like the choppiness. So, all right.
It's choppy on your end too?
Yeah.
Okay. At least I'm not alone. All right. So look, we're gonna move on to another segment of the show that Miguel wanted to reprise. That we did it a while back, and we're gonna bring it back for y'all. It is this section of the show, this segment of the show. Yes, this is the Would You Rather segment of the show that is a staple on the 10-7 show. That will be back, and it will be back this summer. So definitely check that out. Be on the lookout for that, but what we do is we give you two situations, and we ask you, what would you rather do? What would you rather have? What would you rather be? Whatever the question may be. So, Miguel,
Sir.
what you got for us today?
I felt like going with a football theme, especially with all the trades and the nuances and rumors and conjecture. So here's the first one's dedicated to AJ Brown. Would you rather be an elite offensive lineman who gets zero media attention or an average wide receiver who is constantly in the national spotlight?
Ooh. That's a good question. Because it really depends on what kind of attention you're actually getting. Like if you said a mediocre wide receiver?
An average wide receiver who is constantly.
But you're always in the national. Like if you're always in the national spotlight and you're an average, it may not be a good thing. I'm going to let me be the lineman. Because even though linemen don't get the attention, people know who they are. People know who Lane Johnson is. People knew who Jason Kelsey was. People knew who, the damn 90s. Here we go. We're going to piece in these damn Cowboys fans again. The damn 90s Cowboys, I knew their offensive line. That's how good they were. I knew there was no other team, maybe except for the Eagles, that I knew everybody on the offensive line.
And
Plus,
we
they
all
were
know, the one that died of an overdose and the one that had 90 pounds of marijuana in their truck.
who died of the overdose.
I think it was their center or something, or their guard. And then Nate Newton, I think, was pulled over with like 150 pounds worth of marijuana.
I remember the Nate Newton thing. I think the Nate Newton. Anyway, I don't want to. Champion Maker says I would be Christian Derishaw.
Oh, that's cute.
How about you? What would you rather be?
So I was a lineman in high school, so we had some primitive. Yeah, I would just scoot on right back doing that. Plus, you can play dirty and kind of get away with it sometimes.
Yeah, you can. I was a lineman one time in my life too.
Yeah, I got bit on my neck and I stuck my thumb in someone's eye.
How'd you get bit on your neck?
I know, and it was really hard because I don't have a neck. But it was this real skinny kid. He was on the bottom of the pile, and he was kind of, I don't know how he did it either, but I was lifting up. I was using him to lift him up, and then he just kind of came up when his helmet fell off. He like bit
His
like
helmet came off. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But I guess he didn't. I guess he didn't like the fact. He didn't like the fact that I was using him to help myself up.
Yeah. Well, that's what linemen do. Linemen are bullies.
Yeah. All right. So, would you rather catch the game-winning touchdown as time expires in the Super Bowl, or make a game-saving goal line tackle on 4th down?
Catch the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Because I'm gonna get paid off that. And I'm not talking about football paid. I'm gonna get endorsement paid off that.
I got you. I would probably lean towards making the game-winning tackle because I don't see that too much. Because normally the game comes down to like an incomplete pass or a field goal or a missed field goal. So I'm like, I don't see too many game-saving tackles, especially in the big game.
People will, in my opinion, people will remember the tackle. They may not remember the tackler. For instance, who made the game-winning tackle in the Rams versus Titans Super Bowl back in 2000? 99 season, but 2000, the Super Bowl was in 2000. Do you remember who made that tackle?
Oh my gosh!
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right there. Like you remember the tackle.
Rams fans remember. I'm not a Rams fan, but Rams fans remember.
Rams fans remember, just like an Eagles fan will remember too. But I'm not a Rams fan.
Well, all right. So
I will remember somebody catching the person that caught a game-winning, a last-minute game-winning Super Bowl touchdown.
Do you remember who got the game-winning touchdown in the Patriots Falcons game when they came back down 35-3 or 28-3?
No, because I turned that game off.
Because you thought it was.
No, I didn't, but I think I was like playing Xbox at the same time or something.
Right.
I was on my Eagles ain't in the Super Bowl. I don't like this. I was on my I was on my pout mission. But you're right. I don't remember who made, like, I would, if it was a walk-off, I would remember. If that tackle is a walk-off tackle, I may not remember who made the tackle. I'm not going to remember immediately, but I'm not going to remember years later.
Right, because I always remember the play, but I never remember the player.
Unless it was like Ray Lewis or something, because people will talk about that being Ray Lewis, being Ed Reed, being Brian Dawkins, being Reggie White, you know what I mean, being Aaron Donald. People will talk about that associated with that person. But if it were Sean Considine, people are not going to talk about Sean Considine in that moment.
Oof.
I just saw a video the other day and they mentioned Sean Considine. So
that's like mentioning Reno Mahe as like the top punt returner of all time.
Hey, wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Reno freaking
Mahe.
Hold up, Champion has a question. Who made the interception on the goal line against the Seahawks? You talking about that Patriots? Was it Was it? No, it wasn't. I'm thinking
It was it was the same player that was benched in the Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I kept my. I was about to say Malcolm Jenkins, but it was Malcolm something, wasn't it? Or was it something?
Butler.
Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler. Yeah, Malcolm Butler.
Who? Yeah, and to this day, nobody will talk about why he didn't play against the. Eagles.
I would sure like to know why he didn't play in that game. Actually, I don't care, but I do want to know.
It's intriguing, you know.
It's intriguing. It's very intriguing. You got another one for us?
So would you rather sit next to the loudest, most annoying opposing fan for an entire game, such as Mr. Shipley, or have the stadium completely run out of food and drinks by the first quarter?
Had the stadium run out of drinks by the first quarter. I wouldn't care. I don't get up. I don't get up. And people that have gone to games with I don't get up. I'm watching the game.
Yes,
I'm getting my stuff. I'm getting my stuff on my way in and on my way down to the seat, but I'm not getting back up. I don't want to miss anything. I paid to be here to see it live. I don't want to miss a thing. I hate missing it when I'm there. I hate it. Funny story. I took my daughter a few years back to see. Actually, was it the year? I think it was the year that the Phillies lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks in the playoffs. I took my daughter, and they were playing the Diamondbacks that day. I took my daughter to see. It was her first time going to a baseball game, right? Mm-hmm. She wasn't really big on baseball at the time, but she kind of likes it more now than she did then. So we get there, right? I'm like, all right, come on, let's get this food or whatever, and then we're gonna go to our seat. So we can stand in line, get the food. The game's already started. Stand in line, get our food. And she said she wanted some ice cream and the little helmet bowl ice cream. I'm like, all right, come on, we're going. Bro, we was getting food for 3 innings. Okay, we get to our seats. It's probably like the 5th inning at this point. Mm-hmm. We're there for like 2 innings, and then she's ready to go. Mm-hmm. At that point in my life, I had never left the game early. And that was my first time leaving the game early. I left the game early last year too, but it was because I was sitting directly in the sun. It was like July 2nd or 3rd, July 2nd. I was sitting directly in the sun. It was awful.
Ugh, disgusting.
And the Phillies were losing. They was getting spanked too.
That is disgusting.
Actually, they came back to tie the game, but they still ended up losing, but they were getting spanked. So I'm sorry. What was the question?
Would you rather sit next to the loudest, most annoying fan or okay? I've
sat next to loud, annoying opposing team fans before. Actually, I sat next to a Mets fan in a game where the Mets were really whooping up on the Phillies. Actually, it was the game Alec Boehm had the 3 errors.
Woo! The I hate it here. The I hate it here game.
It was that game. I think it was that game, and all that happened before I got there. Because I have a thing about not paying $20-something to park, so I get there in like the 3rd inning.
Right. Park anyway, Oregon Ave, yeah.
And I was sitting next to a Mets fan that night. And he was cool, but he was talking this smack. It is what it is. Yeah. And the Phillies actually came back and won that game. But he was gone. He left before the comeback happened. He must have knew something.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not getting up anyway, so y'all can run out of food. What would you rather do?
I'm like you. I don't get up for nothing. In the last couple of games I've gone to, me and my niece actually meet up. We'll go eat somewhere, and then we'll go to the game. Right. Although last time I did actually get the ice cream cup, so the helmet. I was like, because I got the helmet. It was for this jersey, and I never had one before. So I was like, you know what? Let's get ice cream. I want ice cream. But but we got there early enough. Like we got there 45 minutes to an hour early. So. That's the secret. You get there early so you can walk around, get your food, and then you sit down versus, anything else. So, but yeah, I do the same thing. I don't get up. So I probably would. I mean, if they ran out of food by the first quarter, that'd be fine because I would have already eaten.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, me too. I don't get up during games. I don't get up during movies.
Right.
I don't understand people that get. I mean, I know sometimes you got to go to the bathroom or something, but I don't really understand people that would get up during a movie. Like, unless you've already seen it, like, how you getting up during this movie? You're gonna miss like an important part.
So I saw Michael this weekend,
Mhm.
and there were like 3 or 4 couples that left before even the movie finished.
Because they didn't like it.
I couldn't tell. They just literally just got, and they were younger. I hate this generation, so they were probably just bored, or I don't know. I don't know why
Maybe
they. I don't know.
came up or something like that.
Or they were hungry, or they were tired, or they were. I don't know.
Or maybe they seen it already and it was like, all right, I don't need to see the rest.
I'd rather assume the worst, that they're just horrible human beings and they just are selfish.
So what were your thoughts on the Michael Jackson movie?
I loved it from the standpoint the music was good. I do like what they kind of covered. The person that the Jafar dude, like the transformation,
Did his thing.
oh my goodness, the dance moves were perfect. I love biopics, you know what I mean, because I love the fact that they, how they tell the story. I've seen the Aretha Franklin biopic, I've seen the Elvis biopic. We all know Ray, you know what I mean. Like I like biopics that cover those type of things and those type of people, and I always look for something new that may not have been told before. But I think this was the closest to like the story, and not to give away anything, but I have a feeling there's going to be a part 2 because there was so much left on the table where it stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it came short of any type of serious allegation. It was really telling the story about the family dynamics, and really him struggling to break away from Joe. So
Movie's been out for a while now. We can tell people it stops in 1989.
88.
88, excuse me, 88. 88. You know what I was surprised I didn't see, and maybe it was a little later than I thought, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I thought that we were lost my connection, came right back. I thought we were going to see like I was expecting to see at one point the We Are the World thing.
Mhm.
And we did. I just kind of thought we were going to see that at some point while I was in. I didn't think about it beforehand.
Which they still can cover if they do a part 2.
But that's what I'm saying. Did it come out before 88 or was it after 88?
So We Are the World came out in 85. It came out actually while he was doing that Victory tour.
Okay.
And I believe so. There's a thing on Netflix that actually tells the whole story about how that all came together. It's massively. Me and a friend of mine watched it over the weekend, and it happened the same night of, I think, the American Music Awards, which Lionel Richie was hosting. So as soon as that was done, they had to go over to someplace in California to get, Bruce Springsteen, Cyndi Lauper, like everybody over there to make this recording. I think it took them 9 or 10 hours to actually record the thing.
Wow.
It's amazing how it came together.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think it's called The Greatest Night in Pop History or something like that. But it tells the whole story about who came up with the song, whose idea it was, and then getting the people together and all that stuff. It's really good.
You got any more Would You Rathers for us?
I'll give you one more.
Okay.
Would you rather drop a perfectly thrown pass in the end zone on national TV, or get completely run over by a linebacker on a block that goes viral?
Get run over by the linebacker. And that's coming from somebody that did play offensive line. But here's why. People are going to forget you got ran over. People are not going to forget you dropped that wide open pass in the end zone.
I don't know.
People won't forget.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, people are going to forget drop passes.
People will forget drop passes, but in the end zone, like it depends on who you are, right? We remember that AJ Brown dropped 3 passes in the playoffs. But it's because it's AJ Brown. If it was Santana Dotson or whatever his name is, Johan Dotson, we would remember it, but we would have forgot it by now. Wide open pass, like if you tell, well, you know what? You didn't say a game-winning pass,
Correct.
so getting run over might hurt. So maybe I'm going to change my mind. I'll say I'll drop the pass since it's not a game-winning pass. I'll drop the pass instead because mistakes happen. You take your eye off the ball. Hell, what's my man? Saquon Barkley dropped a game-winning pass against Atlanta a couple years ago. Or what could have been a game-winning pass.
Yep.
What about you? What would you rather do? I know you were a lineman, so I know you don't want to get ran over by a linebacker.
Yeah, but I guess if I get run over by Ray Lewis, I think it'll be more of a highlight of Ray Lewis and not, especially since my name will be on the grass, not facing anybody.
But so you got John Madden and like, look, watch this here. Boom, decleated.
Boom.
You see that? Boom. Don't have John Madden to point it out like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He was great at that. I'll tell you that. John Madden was great at that. And a decleater.
Mm-hmm.
Getting your cleats up off the ground. Well, that was the would you rather portion of the show. You losing signals again?
Yeah.
That was the would you rather portion of the show. If you want to sponsor the would you rather portion of the show, just hit us up. Let us know. It'll be pretty dope. Any last words before we got out of here, Miguel?
So all I got tonight is at the end of the day, the scoreboard only tells us who won the game, but the film reveals who actually built the character.
I like it. For my last word, I'm going to say this, and I'm stealing this from a post from our friend Coach Ryan Hunter. Summer workouts are optional, but so is your playing time. Remember that, y'all. Remember that. Man. Time for us to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing Podcast with myself and, of course, my man Miguel, who's down in
Baltimore, having big fun.
We will talk to you next week, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock here on the Check Swing Podcast. And bring some friends with y'all next week so we can make this even bigger party, man. We appreciate everybody that came in on their comments. Everybody was watching us that didn't comment. It's all good. You don't have to. Don't feel obligated. We want you to feel comfortable with us. But we are going to get up out of here. We'll talk to y'all next week here on the Check Swing Podcast. Peace, y'all.
Until we meet again.